It all started on a Tuesday afternoon, the kind of day where nothing's supposed to happen. The sky was crisp, cloudless. The smell of fresh-cut grass hung in the air. The street hummed with the distant sound of kids riding scooters and lawn sprinklers ticking in rhythm. It felt like a normal, peaceful day in suburbia, until Karen came out in her robe waving her phone like a weapon. "Excuse me," she barked, heels clicking on the pavement like some suburban warden. "You can't park that thing here." That thing was a fire truck, parked just in front of her house, barely for 5 minutes, responding to a call. Not a fire yet, but a medical emergency. Someone's grandpa had collapsed 2 doors down. Time mattered. Seconds mattered. But to her? Her lawn mattered more. "I pay dues," she screamed. "You don't get to block my street." And right there, as the medics ran past her, I knew something that she didn't. Sometimes karma waits, and sometimes it's already circling the block. Because what Karen didn't know, what none of us knew yet, was that before the week was over, she'd need those same firefighters. Badly. But by then, they wouldn't be able to save her. Not because they didn't want to, but because she made damn sure they couldn't. We live in a planned community, which is a fancy way of saying we have a homeowners association. An HOA? Run by people who think a minor power trip is a full-time job. At the top of that sad little pyramid? Karen, HOA president, self-declared community standards enforcer. And me? I'm just the guy across the street. Quiet, mind my business kind of neighbor. Karen never liked that. She thrives on being the center of attention, like a mall cop with a clipboard. The kind who counts trash bins left out past 6 p.m. and sends passive-aggressive emails with bolded phrases like, "in clear violation of HOA guidelines." But last month, she took it to a new level. A small electrical fire broke out at the Delgado's place. A faulty toaster. Firefighters showed up in under 3 minutes, parked on the curb in front of Karen's house while they rushed inside. She stormed out in her slippers, screaming about tire tracks and HOA landscaping rules. "They're crushing my lawn. I will SUE." Mind you, the grass wasn't even touched, but the truck was large and it was partially in front of her home. Not on it. Just near it. She called the HOA emergency line, then 911. On the firefighters, the medics actually paused. Because police were dispatched for a dispute involving emergency services. A man almost died, and Karen was worried about her hedge line. That day, she crossed a line. And even though most neighbors rolled their eyes and shook their heads, that was just the beginning. The week after that, it was like she snapped a switch. Suddenly, we were getting HOA violation notices for things like excessively reflective solar panels and holiday lights left up past season in March. She even fined the Johnsons for having a non-regulation shade of blue on their birdbath. The fire truck incident? She bragged about it. I overheard her on her porch telling someone they're not above the rules just because they wear a uniform. This is my neighborhood. Then came the sabotage. The Rosens installed a free little library on their lawn. Harmless. Sweet. Karen reported it as an unauthorized structure and had it removed. Next, she sent letters to the fire department demanding they reroute emergency access points to avoid HOA property. You read that right. She tried to ban fire trucks from entering our loop without clearance. The fire chief called it unhinged. The city council called it ridiculous. But HOA boards are tricky. They can operate like mini dictatorships if you don't fight back. And the final straw? She installed bollards, metal posts, at the street entrance, claimed it was to prevent illegal parking. In reality, it narrowed the road so badly that a full-size fire engine could barely squeeze in. And we didn't realize just how dangerous that was until the night her own house caught fire. When I saw the smoke, I thought it was a grill. Then the glow hit the upstairs window. Flames. Real flames. Licking the roofline like hungry tongues. Someone shouted, "Call 911." I was already dialing. Karen came stumbling out in a robe, coughing, hair wild. No phone. No shoes. Just panic. Pure, unfiltered panic. She screamed, "My cats. My cats are still inside." We heard sirens. Relief. But then, they stopped. Halfway down the block. I looked down the street. The fire engine was stuck. The bollards. The narrow road. They couldn't pass. A firefighter sprinted up on foot, cursing. "We can't get the engine through." Karen wailed. "Do something." And that moment, that perfect, terrible moment, is when it all clicked. Her rules were killing her house. The entire neighborhood came out, silent, watching. Smoke filled the sky. The fire spread fast. Garage, living room, porch, and the firefighters? They did what they could with hoses from the street, but the damage was done. She had blocked her own rescue. After that night, everything changed. The city forced the HOA to remove the bollards. An investigation was launched into Karen's abuse of authority. Neighbors rallied. A recall vote was initiated. I printed flyers, "Let's fire the fire starter." At the next HOA meeting, she tried to spin it. I was only protecting the community. But the fire chief showed up too. He brought footage, statements, even the 911 dispatcher call with her voice shrieking, "They can't block my lawn." And I brought something else. A burned piece of siding from her porch. "I think your rules melted," I said. The vote? Unanimous. Karen removed. Funny thing about fire. It doesn't care about boundaries, lawns, or bylaws. It just burns. In trying to control everything, Karen lost the one thing she needed most. Help. She built walls, enforced rules, and pushed everyone away, until no one could save her. There's a line between order and obsession, between leadership and tyranny, and when that line burns down, all that's left is ashes. So, what would you have done if your HOA Karen blocked emergency services? Would you have stayed silent, or let karma handle it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, especially if you've ever dealt with an HOA tyrant. And if you made it this far, comment "justice served" so I know you're one of the real ones. Like, subscribe, and share if you're tired of Karens running the block, because sometimes the best revenge is just letting the fire spread.